Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Shrine of Anubis. If you're new here, welcome. If you have been here before, welcome back, and nice to see you again. So, for today's topic, it's kind of what you have all been waiting for, question mark, which is maybe part one of two or something within this series, which is uh getting into the sexy stuff within this series, which was exactly what you guys wanted. What I wanted also, but was too shy to bring it up to you guys until you guys started to bring it up to me. And that is sexual offerings to your deity. Now, I will leave myself out of this for this video. I want this first part to be more instructive, more informative, question mark, in regards to how you can offer things to your DT or DTs in a sensual or sexual way. Now, some of you may have a fascinating connection with more than one DT because people love people, of course, and deities. And then there are other people like myself who share just one bond with one deity, I guess. Does that make sense? It doesn't make sense, I know. Um, how do I begin this video? I guess from the basics. So let's assume that you know that this DT wants you and that you want them. Let's assume that the connection has evolved, that you have this link or bond with them. And it feels like that first night after a wedding, and you don't know what to do with yourself or with them in the first place. Um, Especially if you are a virgin and are clueless of what to do next, right? So, when it comes to sexual offerings for your DTs, you don't have to go all out. You don't have to be dramatic. You don't have to be fancy unless you can afford to. Some of them actually do get pissed off about it if you're not able to, and you somehow manage to make a miracle just for them. They hate that. Especially Anubis, he doesn't like it when you can't do something, but you force yourself to do so. And that includes trying to be fancy and have all things expensive when you can barely pay your car, for example, or your rent, or when you don't even have food at home. He absolutely hates that bullshit. So, what to do, for example, if you are to make a sexual offering, for example. There are various ways to be sexual without the intercourse part. There are various ways to be sensual that do not require you to do the thing. You know, some people are asexual, meaning that, if I'm not mistaken, they just have no sexual desire, but that doesn't mean that they still cannot fall in love with someone. Some people may have sexual feelings, but they don't want to bother with the act because they just don't want to. The human nature is very complicated. I'm not going to get into this part because, first of all, I don't know. Second, humans are way too damn complicated for my liking. But I'm just giving you a couple of examples of how things can go and how it's okay if you are not interested in the sexual part of like this whole thing, especially when intercourse is concerned. You don't have to. Now, some people, myself included, when we make a sexual offering to our deity, we may use toys. We may use our hands. We may use what is safe to use to satisfy ourselves, thinking about the DT and directing our energy to the DT. So the simplest way for me to connect with Anubis in the sexual slash romantic slash etc. way is to simply hold his energy in my mind's eye and to picture him as well. Visualization is very important when you are connecting with your DT. It's pretty much like fantasizing about your boyfriend who lives like 3 hours away and you can't see him due to COVID-19 type of thing. Except it's a god that you're getting it on with. And he can actually perceive your energy. And sometimes you might feel their presence with you in your room or in the shower or wherever you are. And sometimes you might get a response in return. So this can absolutely happen if you're not sensitive energetically speaking. No pun intended. Don't worry. It doesn't matter. They do still receive the offering whether you are aware of it or not. So that is the most common, simplest way for you to connect with your DT, which is through a sexual act with yourself. The second part from this point is connecting with your lover in a romantic slash intimate slash sexual way while holding the intention of your petition, if you have any, as an offering to your DT. While picturing your DT in your mind's eye. And I know this is awkward because you are there with your partner and at the same time thinking about, for example, if I had a person in my life thinking about Anubis while I am with them and I'm like, oh crap, I feel like I am cheating. But in the end, this is a huge debate, believe it or not, whether you are cheating by working with a DT in a sexual way when you have a partner or not. Honestly, I feel that these are unrelated because you have a physical relationship with somebody, while this is a whole different aspect of your life. It is a spiritual connection. It does not interfere in any way, shape, or form in your life unless your DT is warning you that your partner is an asshole and you need to get the fuck away from them. That's a whole nother can of worms that I will not get into, but it can happen. And some partners can get jealous of a DT that you work with if they know that you're getting it on with them. So just be warned because this can happen. Absolutely. This can happen. I've seen it happen. It's fucking stupid, but it happens because we're humans and humans can be dumb. So these are the two, well, just one key point addressing two parts within this key point, which is a sexual act, a direct sexual act, whether with yourself or through your partner. Dedicating the energy and focusing that energy within the act to your DT. If there is a specific petition that you have, like a favor or a promise or something that you want, because some people do this type of sex magic question mark with a specific intention in mind, like some type of work, like some type of spell work, because of the energies and the bonding. And I don't want to be explicit here, but like the physical interactions that happen when you're like making love with somebody, it's all part of like this whole big thing that a lot of people use as some sort of spell work to get something else done, whether it is to bring more money, to tie this person down, your partner, to bring them closer to you so that, you know, things evolve between you two. Some people use it as some sort of spell work. Other people actually just use it to connect with their DT in a sexual way. Personally, I've never done this for a specific reason other than just connecting with Anubis in a sexual way. So, because of this, I can't give you yet advice on how this works, but I know it works because even though I haven't done this in a spell working type of way, like, oh, Anubis, I'm gonna use this toy. I want you to help me to get $1,000. No, I haven't done it that way. But when connecting with him in that sense, I have perceived his energy and I have perceived his presence and I have perceived what I would say were his thoughts. And with those thoughts, directions on how to do things and when to stop and when to continue, things like that. Yeah. So, but to bring back the attention to the purpose of this video, the most simplest direct way to connect with your deity is through a sexual act, whether with yourself or with your partner. But there's always going to be that one who's going to bitch and whine about, oh my God, you're connecting with Anubis, right? You're thinking of him, right? Like, we're here and you're thinking of him, right? No. If your partner is that way, you don't want them as your partner unless it's playful banter. Now, another way that you can sensually connect with your deity, which also serves as an offering, is through dance. Now, some devotees might pick up on dancing classes such as belly dancing. Me. It can be, some people do twerking for spiritual reasons. I don't understand that, but it can be a sensual dance. And that is also a valid offering as well for your deity. Another thing here is, how do you call it in English? It's escaping my mind. It's not belly dancing because I already mentioned it. It's not twerking. Of course. Pole dancing. Pole dancing. You would not believe the amount of ladies I've met before who have taken pole dancing classes who were pagans. Now, granted, some were Satanists, some were of different branches, some were not specifically into gods, but some of them worked with demons. And pole dancing for them was a very sensual act to do, so they took up on it with classes to learn how to pole dance and offer this dance to their demons that they work with. So can you see the variations in here already and the ways that you can make a sexy offering without having to do the act? There's also other ways that you can also make sensual offerings. Sensualness, question mark, is not exactly about short dresses or showing a little bit of cleavage or a little bit of ass. It's not about that exactly. It's what makes you feel confident in yourself. It's what makes you feel safe in your body. It's just like taking a bite of a chocolate bar that you love, that makes you feel good. That can be sensual as well. I have a whole spiritual experience whenever I eat chocolate. Let me tell you something. So you can eat some piece of chocolate and dedicate it to Anubis, for example. He would love that. By the way, he loves dark chocolate. Check out my offerings for Anubis video somewhere. Everything can be a sensual experience if it makes you feel good, if it makes you feel confident, if it makes you feel alive and thriving. It doesn't have to be sexual in nature. It doesn't have to be like you showing your boobs or ass or whatever. No, no. Sensuality is what you make of it. I do have my ways to be sensual, and some of those ways is lighting a candle in my favorite scent, having super fluffy bed sheets or carpets, rugs, carpets, question mark. Uh, Sometimes wearing dresses. I know that you guys have never seen me wear a dress. Like, what the fuck I'm talking about? But wearing a dress can sometimes make me feel sensual. Um, or it can be as simple as when I just walk out of the shower with freshly washed hair and I just shaved everywhere and I'm feeling bomb. I'm feeling as smooth as a dolphin. I'm like, holy shit, I can take over the world in my nakedness and smoothness because I just shaved my legs. Like, sensuality can be whatever you make of it. So in my case, I feel self-confident when I have moisturized myself, when I have exfoliated, when I have shaved, when I have washed my hair, when I am stepping on a very fluffy rug, when I am surrounded by a super comfy a blanket in my bed, whenever I'm wearing a dress. Uh, Again, it's not sexual in nature. You don't need intercourse in order to feel sensual or to send that vibe to your deity. Not the actual vibe. We're talking about energetic vibes. But I can see how this part can be distorted very quickly, especially with the topic of this video. Um, but there are different ways that you can feel sensual without having to be sexual. Um, and you can still have that sexual energy in you and not release it. Some people remain, how do you say it in English? They abstain from doing the act for spiritual reasons, but they still have that centered energy within their self, within their core, and they don't release it. You don't have to release it through orgasm. You can always release it through creative projects or other ways like exercise or yoga or breath work. If you are not into intercourse, I understand that some people just don't have a desire for it. Other people have suffered from sexual trauma. They have PTSD from events that have happened previously to them. That's perfectly fine. But your DT will never force you into doing something against your will that you do not feel comfortable with. This is very important. Very important thing that I want you to take away from this whole entire video. Your DT will never force you to do something against your will that will further cause you harm or will cause you harm in some way, shape, or form. I understand that some DTs will push you beyond your comfort zone to get ahead in life, to overcome obstacles and challenges, but this is very different. They will never make you relive your trauma by forcing themselves onto you. If they do, this is a different energy. I would call it a energetic parasite that does not have your best interest in mind, and I would suggest that you banish it from your energetic field and your space. Now, I don't want to dive in too deep into this because it will get confusing. There are other key points in here that I feel could connect, but I want your feedback on this video because the next couple of videos that I'll be making, I will start to address your questions. So I want to give you the opportunity, if I can English today, to let me know down below in the comments section. What do you think of this video? What questions do you have? Is there something in this video that caught your attention that you would like me to elaborate more on? Because I will. In the next video next week, I will be addressing my side of how things are between Anubis and I. How do I know what he wants and when? In the meantime, I wanted to give you a little bit of preparation of very minor sensual offerings that you can make, sexual offerings that are evident and obvious, and you probably already know or knew about this, and that's fine. But I wanted to give a bit of background here for what's coming next in my upcoming video, which I was going to do today, but I decided to change it up and give you a little bit of background to prepare you for the next video. So this is why I ask you to give me feedback down below, because I will start to address your questions in the next video next week about Anubis and I and our sexual dynamic. So thank you guys so much for watching. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel, click on the bell button, and click on see all so that you can get all the notifications of any future uploads that I'll be making on this channel. So again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.